So this is my productive desk setup that I use nearly every single day. I've been working from home for around 15 years now, so I like to think that I've mastered the desk setup. I've tried so many setups and products that I've now figured out what makes a desk setup productive and functional. First up is the desk. After trying and using a ton of different desks over the years, the number one important thing for me is having a desk that has depth. Most desks are just way too shallow. This one is 75 centimeters deep. It's from Vernal, who are our channel sponsor. Having a desk this deep gives me room to have a full 32-inch monitor that's far away enough from my eyes, but also gives me enough room to rest my arms on it when I'm typing or using my mouse. It's also 180 centimeters wide, making it wide enough to fit a pair of speakers alongside my monitor and my MacBook, with room to spare. I hate having a cramped desk, so size really does matter here. This specific desk is made from real walnut as well, so it feels and looks luxurious. I'm personally a huge fan of walnut, and I found it's just an easy way to add some warmth to a desk setup. It is also a standing desk. There's a module on the left hand side that gives me all of the controls as well as 3 different memory settings. This specific desk can hold up to 160 kilograms, which is actually insane. I can literally sit on the desk and move it up and down no problem. There is a cable management tray included, which holds the power strip and any excess cables that I might have, but I've also been using these magnetic cable management arches from LTT store to keep the cables in place. Desks like this are just built to last. Once you get one, you probably never need to get another one. So make sure to check out Vernal. Prices start from $429. You can use the link in the description and use the discount code on the screen for an extra 6% off, as well as $70 off their classic sets. The monitor I have part of my setup is the Apple Pro Display XDR. I bought this in 2021 and it's been my main monitor ever since. I've tried so many different monitors and covered so many on the channel as well if you guys are regular subscribers, but I always end up going back to this one. Even though it's still an IPS panel, there are a few reasons as to why I keep going back to it. The 6K resolution being number one. Having the screen estate of 6K is just incredible for productivity. It's quite difficult to go back to 4K. It's really bright. It has a sustained brightness of 1000 nits with a peak brightness of 1600 nits for HDR content. It has incredible color accuracy. Most of my work is design work, photo editing, video editing. All of this stuff requires great color accuracy, and that's what the Pro Display XDR is built for. It has a glossy finish. Surprisingly, it's still hard to come across monitors that have full glossy finishes. I feel like when you have a glossy display, everything just looks sharper and has a lot more contrast. The only things that are missing though are high refresh rate and OLED. It would really be nice to have those. I'm hoping Apple come out with a new version soon in the next year or so that has at least 120 Hz and hopefully, I don't know if it's going to happen, but hopefully tandem OLED. Now that Thunderbolt 5 can also support 6K 120Hz, I think it just makes sense for Apple to release an upgraded version. If you're someone who does a lot of coding, design work, photo editing, or video editing, I would highly recommend considering a 5K or 6K resolution display, even if you're sacrificing refresh rate. There are a ton of new cheap options now available that make it a lot more accessible. It's one of those things which is quite hard to explain until you use 5K or 6K. You just get so much more screen estate, so much more resolution, so much more room for all of your windows and stuff. I just find it for productivity related stuff, it is fantastic. I'm currently rocking the 14-inch MacBook Pro, which is the heart of my setup. It has the M4 Max chip with 36 gigabytes of RAM and a 4 terabyte SSD. It actually sits here, I'd say like 80% of the time. A Mac Studio would usually make more sense in a setup like this, but because I travel for 3 to 4 months of the year, a laptop just makes a lot more sense. This 14-inch form factor as well, I think is perfect. I love the size of this. It just does everything that I need it to do. Design work, coding, video editing, photo editing, just everything. It's an absolute beast and it doesn't stutter at all. The stand that I have my Mac on is from Native Union. It's just primarily to sort of bring it up to eye level because I don't want to be looking down towards my desk when I am looking at the MacBook screen. It's a very high quality laptop stand as well. It feels very premium, made from metal, and it's absolutely solid. I also have a Thunderbolt dock so that I can connect any peripherals, accessories without having to sort of manually connect and disconnect everything to my MacBook. This one specifically is the CalDigit TS5 Plus. It's one of the latest ones to support Thunderbolt 5 and it has just an absolute ton of ports. I use the front ports the most naturally because it's just facing me and it's very easily accessible. I love that it has ports that you're most likely going to use, like the SD card slot, headphone jack, and additional USB-C ports. Tucked away mounted underneath my desk, which you can't see, is a NAS. This one is from Ugreen that I bought earlier this year. It's completely flash based with 16 terabytes inside. This has one clear purpose. it stores my archived footage for YouTube that I can quickly access whenever I need to. But it also gives my team access in other parts of the world, so they can easily go into it, get any footage they like and sort of edit if they need to. Because it's completely flash based and has Thunderbolt ports, I've actually connected it via a Thunderbolt port to my Mac, and it's just fast enough that I can edit full 4K projects directly off of it. I don't actually need to move any files over. And also, it's nearly silent. I didn't want a big sort of bay with spinning drives in my office because they're quite clearly audible. This is the best solution that I found so far for a quiet and fast NAS system that's also tiny. The speakers that I have are the Audio Engine A2 Plus. I listen to music nearly all of the time that I'm sitting at this desk setup. The only times I'm not listening to music is when I'm watching a video or editing one of my own videos. I would highly recommend a proper set of speakers if you have the space. They're just going to be any sort of computer speakers that you can get. I feel like it also completely elevates the feel of the setup, because with the speakers and the way I have it sort of set up, it's going to sound crazy, but I feel like I lock in. That's the best way I can explain it. When I have the music on and I'm focused on something, I really do feel like I'm locked in. And these speakers, I feel like, create almost like a bubble of sound around me. I can't really hear anything else. They're also a good size, not too big, not too small. They're just a fantastic set of desktop speakers. I would highly recommend it. If you're someone who gets goosebumps listening to music like I do, it's so worth it. Also, I didn't realize actually that not everybody gets goosebumps when they listen to music. It just obviously depends on the music, but music for me really is an important sort of part of my life. So it's why I like having a good set of speakers. For video calls, I have this small Insta360 webcam. I actually only do one video call a week, and that's my weekly team meeting that I do with my guys. Otherwise, I completely avoid any calls if I can. I just feel like it kills my flow, kills my productivity. When I know that there's calls lined up, I just don't like doing calls. So yeah, webcam for me, this is just what I use. To charge my iPhone, my Apple Watch and my AirPods, I have this Nomad charging station, very premium, high quality, has some weight to it as well. The biggest issue I found with other brands is that they're just too light. So when you attach and detach your phone, you end up picking up the whole charger. Like, that's just annoying. That's not the case with this one, it's solid. I do also have an iPad Pro here on a magnetic charging stand, but it doesn't always stay here. It does move around quite a bit because I use it sort of in other rooms and around the space. One of the most common questions I get about my setup is the light. What light am I using? This is the Logi Lytra Beam LX. It's a dual-sided LED light that's actually technically designed for streaming, but it does have the dual purpose of also being a desk lamp. What I like about this lamp is that you can adjust the color temperature. So in the day or when I'm working at my desk, I can have it on a sort of daylight temperature, and in the evenings I can switch it to a much warmer candlelight temperature. Also, the other side is an RGB strip, so you can have it do sort of all sorts of other stuff. If you're into unicorn vomit, that is. I do also have a leather desk mat on my desk, and I have the Magic Keyboard and the Magic Mouse. I don't care what anyone says, but the Magic Mouse for me is just a sick mouse. This mouse is so good. For someone who uses Mac OS, yeah, the Magic Mouse is just sick. Like, the functionality, the usability and stuff, I have no issues using this thing. I've been using this thing for over 10 years now. If you're a Magic Mouse user, please support me in the comments, because man, people hate on me for using the Magic Mouse. Now, what I think is the second most important part of any setup is the chair. I'm still rocking the Herman Miller Aeron chair. I feel like for me, it's the GOAT office chair because of the amount of time I spend at this setup. Investing in a proper office chair, I think, is just well worth it. I'm sitting in this chair for hours and on, sometimes every day, even though I shouldn't be. I know I shouldn't be, but it's just so comfortable. I don't have any back issues or anything because it sort of forces me to sit properly. I do have an extra sideboard cabinet sort of alongside my desk. This is also from Vernal. They do a couple of different versions. This one is the short closed version. I usually just use this to store stuff sort of out of sight, but also stuff I need quick access to. It's why it's right next to my desk. Sometimes when I don't want stuff on my desk, I will sort of just move it to the side cabinet so that it's not distracting me. That's it for my 2025 productivity workspace desk setup to ultimate this, that, and the other, whatever people like to call it these days. That is my 2025 version. I'm sure it will change again next year. I always change it regularly, but I think the basics I've gotten right. The desk and chair and the monitor, those sorts of things I've gotten right. And from the years of sitting at desks, yeah, for me, this is right now one of the most comfortable desk setups, one of the most productive desk setups that I've produced. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.